Hi everyone, welcome to the channel 1 Minute Birding, and today I am going to recite a story, A Tale of Two Sunbirds. This is not a cooked up or exaggerated story. This is a real life story of a pair of sunbirds who has just finished building a beautiful nest in our entrance ceiling. Well, building nest is not an easy task for birds. It's a tedious process. Firstly, they have to find a secure place to keep the nest away from the predator's sights. Then they need to cope up with their competitors. They have to do territorial fights to fix a place, and they have to collect the proper nesting materials, and the struggle goes on. This is pretty common in every bird's life. But here, these birds confronted too many torments other than these to build the nest. Let's get into the nest making story. The pair visited our home a few days before and was gliding here and there. After finding the wires hanging on the ceiling, the birds decided to make their nest there. Actually, a few years before, a sunbird pair built nest over there, exactly the same place, and successfully raised their chicks. I'm not sure whether these were the same birds or their offspring for here to continuing their parents' legacy, but we are pretty happy in either ways. So here they have decided the place to build a nest, but they noticed a French door with a mirror at the entrance. After seeing their mirror reflections, they were perturbed and were knocking the windows with their curved bills. Perhaps they were annoyed and disturbed, thinking the reflections of their competitors. I don't know the reason exactly, but they had been doing this for a week. After discussing the incident with the ornithologist, and as per their advice, we closed the window with a curtain. And after that, they seemed to be relaxed and started building their nest. And here comes the major struggle. Well, in sunbirds, the female alone involved in nest making process, and the male just stay along with the female, help her locate the nesting materials, watch and guard the nesting area. So as you see here, the bird decided to build the nest at the edge of the hanging wires. But it didn't get the grip and the materials were falling down continuously, and it made the place total mess. But that's okay, that didn't matter, but what mattered was her efforts. I had been seeing her spending a whole day collecting nesting materials from the obscure regions, building the nest by putting a strenuous effort, but at the end of the day, her efforts went in vain. It was not just on that particular day, the bird had been facing this problem for more than a week. I felt it's high time to interfere in this problem, as I didn't want to see her efforts wasted. I know the birds take lessons from their errors and they know what to do, but still, as a bird lover, I couldn't resist myself doing something in favor of them. So I placed another jute rope near the wire, but it didn't use the rope. The pair was hanging on the rope and discussing, but was not intended to build a nest over there. Again, the female sunbird was collecting nest materials, building nest, and again the materials never failed to cascade down and making the entrance tidy. Many a time, she completed building almost 3/4 of the nest, but her toil ended up as a fallen nest. And the bitter part was, she never bothered about the fallen materials. Every time when the nest fell, she didn't even look down. She just went and collected new materials from outside. Throughout this process, the male bird was assisting her, giving some suggestions. So it's already 15 days and I couldn't see any improvement. I couldn't see her fail also. So I discussed the same with other birding group and they advised me to seal or close the place, but since it is our entrance, I couldn't do either. Finally, I decided to cut the wires on the ceiling so that they would find some other places to make their home. But I wanted to wait for another couple of days, and then the miracle happened. Suddenly, the pair was thrashing out in a louder note, examined the place carefully, and decided to make the nest a few meters above, where there's a default oval-shaped note, and started trying building nest there, and it worked out for them. Yes, a beautiful nest had been built by them on the same place now. Although they took a long time to find the solution, they have at last figured out the strategy. I should not have stated it as a miracle. It was not a miracle at all. It was the outcome of their hard and smart work. It was their formula for their trial and error techniques. And now, a happy family is in progress. Quite a feat, isn't it? Well, that's a happy story of the sunbirds, and every story has a lesson, and I have learned a lot new lessons from them. Never give up. Be persistent. Don't bother about the failures. Never count the tears that roll. Never mind the flowers that fall. Hard work is needed, but smart work is more important. Every problem has a solution, and the best part is your solution is right there in your problem. All you need is to pursue and resolve smartly. I hope you all like this story. So that's all for today, and I'll meet you with some other interesting information in my next video. Until then, bye, take care, and have a pleasant day.